Jakob hat sich mehr nicht gekonnt der Warten auf Sonnensprotz. Yaakov could no longer wait for the sunrise. Hat sich getun ahoy auf, gesucht moderni, abgegossen Nägelwasser. He pulled himself up, he stood up, he said Modani, and he washed his hands. In the
May I ask a small question here?
Sure.
How do you, in English, tell the difference between der Warten and Warten? Because there is one.
Der Warten.
Warten is just when you're waiting.
Could not wait.
And der Warten means that you cannot help it waiting, kind of that. So you are in expectation of something to happen. It's much stronger word than
it's
simple
much
Warten.
Stronger, yeah. I think it has a feeling of impatience in it.
Yes, exactly.
It has the feeling of impatience included in it with the dare. Now we're all going to become converb experts. I can see that.
Is it possible that in Yiddish we have a concept similar to what one sees in Russian, that there's an imperfective verb which describes a state of action or being without a beginning or an end, and then there's a perfective verb which indicates a point in time. So warten would be the imperfective, not beginning and ending, and der warten would be he's waiting for this particular point, the sunrise.
If you know Russian, it's the difference between ждать и дождаться.
No, but I think Eleanor is right because you have the other example with Jorgen. We yoked him, you chase him.
Der Jorgen.
No, der yoked him, you catch him. So it is unending, and then there's a So
I would say that der Jorgen is actually to catch with him, not necessarily happen, but be in the same line with him. So you run after him and then you run. But yes, you're right.
All right. In der Regel hat sich durchgerissen durch dem Spalt in der Tier Pulperner Pass. In this moment, there came through a crack in the door, a crimson ray of light. Yaakov is a voice in the Reusen. Yaakov went outside. Die Sonne hat erst angehäuben, a Verkommen von hinteren Berg. The sun had just started to rise, a Verkommen, to rise from under the mountain. Der Vogel, was sucht on den Tag, hat herausgelost sein skrippendig Geschrei. The bird that sort of announced the day had given out his cry. Skrippendig, his shrill cry, his cry. Nein, der Vogel hat nicht verschlafen sein Schlichus. The bird did not oversleep his appointed task, his job. Jakob hat gleich genommen suchen, dem Haken, was hat gedarft liegen auf einer von die Fachen, wo es stehen die Milchtepp. Yaakov had immediately started to search for the hook that was meant to be on one of the shelves where the milk cans stood. Aber der Haken is gehat ausgerunnen, but the hook had disappeared. Nu, es is dem Satans Stickel Arbeit. Okay, this is the work of Satan, but Yaakov geklärt. Yaakov thought to himself, es leunt ihm nicht, als Yaakov, soll auskritzen die Taryag mitzvahs. It wasn't useful or profitable for him, that is Satan, that he, Yaakov, would scratch out, would inscribe the 613 mitzvahs. Yaakov hat herabgenommen die Tepp, sie zurück heraufgestellt. He took down the pails and then he put them back. Hat genichtelt auf den Boden. He went, rummaged through the earth, zwischen Streu, in the, among the straw. Is geblieben hoffältig. He remained confident. No, sich nicht untergeben. Don't give up, Yaakov. Don't give up. Kein Shum Mitzvah kommt nicht ongering. There's on again. But there it's different, yeah. No mitzvah comes easily. Everything takes work, comes hard. Yaakov hat gefunden dem Haken. He finds the hook. Is gelegen in a winkel politzel. The hook was lying in a corner of the shelf. Yaakov hat nicht vernommen, was hat im Früher nicht angetan. Yaakov could not understand, vernommen, could not make out why he didn't see it earlier. Jo, alles is upon him bashels. Yes, everything is apparently meant to be bashared. Emet hat mit Jonzerich do übergelost dem Haken, als Jakob, soll können mit ihm auskritzen, Gott's geboten. Somebody, years before, had left over this hook so that he, Yaakov, could scratch out, could inscribe God's rules, laws. Yaakov is wieder raus und genommen suchen a Pasekin stehen. Yaakov went out again. He went out of the stall, the stable, and he's now looking for a suitable stone. Hat versprungen zu suchen, but it was not necessary for him to look. Hinter der Stall, under their stable, hat a Fehlgestalt, a große Fels. Under the stable, or no, I would say it differently. Protruding from under the stable was a large stone. Is gestanden ungegräht, wie der Widel, was Abraham Avinu hat makriv gewähnt, war a Brandopfer anstatt Yitzchaken. He was standing there, waiting, ready for him. like the ram when Abraham made the sacrifice, the burnt offering instead of Yitzchak. Der Stein hat der Gewalt darauf von der Welt Beschaffung. The stone was waiting since the creation of the world. Keiner wird nicht sehen die Schrift, weil die Stahl verstellt. Nobody is going to see the writing because the stable hides it. Weil der Hund hat genommen drehen mit dem Eck und untergesprungen. The dog, Balaam, began to wiggle his tail and jump. A Stegel, sein hintischer selb, wollt benommen, was sein Haar gerät sich dort zu tun. It's as if his I don't know, his dog-like soul, his animal soul, would know what his master was getting ready to do. I'll do a little bit more and it's time for Chaim. Chaim.
So, sorry, can I just mention one thing?
Please, always.
Okay. Hinter is not under, hinter is behind.
Behind, right. Hinter is behind. Thank you. All right.
Zum Schnitt hat Jan Bżyk heruntergebracht Jankoven von Barkentoll to the time of cutting, of harvesting. Jan Bżyk brought Yankov down from the mountain to the valley. Auf die Behemoths hat jetzt 8 geton Bascha? Ich weiß nicht, was ist Bascha?
The Schwester.
It's the name.
The Schwester von Wande.
Okay, so this sister was taking care, was tending the cattle instead of him now. Yankov hat gehad der Fun Tsar. Yankov had problems because of that. Hat schon gehad ausgekritzt 43 Asses und
Assays
und 69 Lotases. So he already cut out 43 does and 69 don't do's.
I would say Tsar was sorrow. He had sorrow from this. It wasn't just trouble, it was sorrow. He was sad. He was taking.
Yes, he was saddened by the fact. Das Gedächtnis seins hat bewiesen Hidoshim. His memory was making wonders, was showing wonders, miracles. Hat davon ausgequetscht, wissen, was is schön gewesen, lang vergessen. He pressed out from each knowledge that was already long forgotten. Yankov hat sich gerangelt mit Poire, dem Haar von Shekha, how do you say it?
I would say shachacha, but it's probably
Shechachena.
Shichacho, yeah.
Shichacha.
Shichacho.
yeah.
Okay, so he Yankov was struggling with Poire, the master of Oblivion. Hat bei ihm herausgekriegen, dass Seinige mit Guten, mit Besen, mit Geduld, mit Opwartenisch und der Iker mit Opwenden die Machschewe von alle anderen Eskim. So he pulled out, I don't know how to say it, his what belonged to him with good, with evil, with patience, with waiting, and the most important of all, with winding or turning up the thoughts from other turning off the thoughts from other deeds, other things that he had to do, to perform. Is gesessen zwischen dem Fels und der Stall, an obgesunderter, verstellt mit Unkreuz und mit kurzer Sosne, Karlik, was hat über ihm voneinander gesprayt, die Zweigen. Wie Sekach, what do you say? Skach.
Sukkot. Think Sukkot.
Skach. Yeah, right. Skach. So he sat between this stone, between this rock, and the barn. Abgesondert, how do you say? Like
Isolated. Isolate. Alone.
Isolated, hidden by how do you say it? Weeds, yes. Hidden by with weeds by this pine tree. I lost where I was. A small, short pine tree, and dwarf what spread over him his its branches like a schach. hat gegraben in sich wie die Leute, was sucht Äußeres in der Erde. So he kind of digged into his own in himself, like people who are looking for some treasures in earth, in the ground. Hat Arois gegrobbeld psukim, breklech psukim, einzelne Wörter. So he kind of digged out paragraphs, pieces of paragraphs, separate words. Die Teure, was hat gelernt, ist nicht gehat weggekommen. So the Teure, the learning that he studied had no coming away. So it stayed basically. It stayed with him. Remained with him. Didn't go away. Had not gone away. I would say this way. Sie hat sich ausbehalten ergens in die Kämmerlech von seinem Gehirn. So it hid itself safely someplace in the rooms in the cameras from his mind. Jetzt hat Yankov dort als gemusst überreißen. So now Yankov had to tear off it all.
Probably, sorry, überreißen, probably interrupt.
Interrupt, yeah, überreißen. Because he was pushed, dragged down to the valley, so he had to interrupt his task. Der Zoomer is given Trockener, so it was dry summer. Asach was zu schneiden is keinmal nishto in Dorf. There were never much to harvest so not much was grown in the village. Ober Hayor is anunge geretanish, but this year this harvest probably was even meager. Die Samen seinen gewachsen schitterer wie allemal. The how do you call it? The ears or the
stalks.
The crops.
Yeah.
They grew weaker than always, scarcer than always. Die Kerner seinen klein und mirbig. The seeds were small and how do you call it? Like fragile, brittle. Wie alle Jahre seien die Poerim gegangen, beten sei zu dem Bild von der heiligen Mutter, sei zu an alten Lindenbäumen, was hat zu sagen über die Geister von Regen. So, like in all the years, the peasants went to pray both to the Holy Mother and to the Lindenbaum, to the how do you say linden in English?
Linden tree.
It's
The linden
the same,
tree.
the same word in English also?
Yeah.
Like in German and Yiddish, linden.
In German also the same.
In Germany, in German, I know there is a song about linden.
Also,
Yeah.
I think it's a
Okay.
Schubert song.
Okay. So they were praying both to the Christian mother and to the pagan tree that represented the spirits of the rain. Okay, maybe someone else will continue because I will need to leave in 2 minutes.
Moshe.
Okay. Mahotka had noch andere schools. They also had other solutions. Man hat reingestellt zwischen die beiden vor Sosnezweigen, was das zieht zu Wolkens. So they placed between the garden beds pine branches because they attract the clouds. Das Dorf hat gehad a hölzernem Horn. The village had a wooden hen, an Überbleibenis von alte Zeiten, a relic of old times. Man hat dem Horn beputzt mit junger Zweigler. They adorned the hen with young twigs, immer rumgewickelt mit grüner Zangen, wrapped him in green stalks, mit him getanzt darum dem Lindenbaum, and with it they danced around the linden tree, and auf him gegossen Wasser, and they poured water onto it. Trotzdem hat jeder Päuer gehad seine eigene Tochter. Aside from that, every farmer had his own mechanisms of doing things. Was einen übergegangen wie Russia von Vater zu Sohn, that went over hereditarily from father to son. So hat getroffen, als a Päuer oder a Päuerter hat sich aufgehangen. It even happened that a farmer or his wife or a peasant and his wife would hang themselves. Die Krovim seien weg zu seire Quorim. The relatives went away to their graves, bet nun beschweren, requesting and imploring or even conjuring up die Beine, sie soll nicht aufhalten dem Regen, conjuring up the bones that they shouldn't hold back the rain. Es ist wohl bewusst, als in Korn verborgt sich a Baba. It was well known that in the corn or the rye, a Baba hides itself. Sie kann tun schlecht and she can do evil damage. Paranoia Dviad is also presumably another spirited Dviad. Wenn man schneit op ein Beit, when you thresh one garden plot, behalten sie sich in another bite, they hide in another plot. When ein Feld is abgeschnitten, when one field is harvested, verklicken sie in another Feld. They creep over to another field. Viele, wenn die ganze Tour liegt schon gebunden, even when all the wheat is bound in garben, in sheaves, tormen gor als nicht sein, hoverdig, one should still not be conceited or proud. Zwischen die Kerne bleiben kleine Babbelich. Between the seeds, there remain little Babbelich. Und man muss sie herausschlagen mit die Zeppes, and you have to chase them out, hit them out with flails. Wie lang das letzte Babel, wie lang die letzte Babel ist nicht Zeit, kann es bringen Schaden. Until the last Babel hasn't been killed, it can bring damage.
What are these babele?
Sorry?
What are these babele?
I don't know. I'd love to know what a babele is. I mean,
Yeah.
I think they're insects.
Is that the translation of babele?
They could be insects or spirits.
Little spirits is what I think of.
Yeah,
They're in the world of spirits here. You know,
Yeah.
they were in the world of spirits, and I think it not as corporal as insects, spirits.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I
Yeah.
interpret it as part of their superstitions.
Yeah.
And with this root word baba, it's similar to in those languages to a woman. Are they somehow meant to be female spirits?
Don't know enough
Yes, well,
about Polish mythology to probably, if one looked up Polish mythology, one would find something.
I think a baba is also an old peasant woman who
Yeah.
Right.
could also be a witch.
Right. So they
Well-
little witches sounds good.
The word was used. The word was used earlier in the story to describe sort of the old women of the village. You know,
Right.
with their talking and yelling at Vanda for her relationship with Yankov. So, I think we're in the world of spirits, and maybe little female spirits. Okay.
He must have been aware, and I suspect, just from the descriptions, that he looked into accurately portraying possibly Polish rural superstitions.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Medieval
medieval,
superstitions.
Well, this isn't quite medieval. I mean, we're talking about post Khmelnytsky, so we're talking about after 1640. It's like early modern period, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. But,
Did Bashevitz in his life spend a lot of time in that world of peasants and in the countryside?
Sorry.
Well, he did live before they moved to Warsaw. He lived for some years in a rural setting, and then they moved to Warsaw, where the father established the court, the rabbinic court. But yeah, he was for some years in a rural setting before they, as a child. I don't know at what age he moved to Warsaw. That we could find out.
He might have experienced some of these rituals and customs personally in his young years.
Well, the man had a tremendous imagination. So anyway, yeah. Should find out when he moved to Warsaw. That will be something for me to tell you. Mirthashim.
Okay. All right. I'll do one more paragraph and then Yaakov, you're welcome. Hat Jor getan alle Paulas, aber etwas hat es nicht geholfen. So this year they did all the deeds that were necessary, but nothing helped. Wenn die Poerim haben sich gewusst, als Jan Bzik hat gebracht dem Jid von Bar, when the peasants became aware that Jan Bzik had brought the Jew down from the mountain, is geworden Amerikanisch, there was a grumbling. Wer weiß sie das Morganisch is nicht sein Arbeit. Who knows if this lean year is not his work. Man ist weg sich kloppen zum Ökonom Zagajak, aber hat geantwortet. They went to complain to the, I assume, some sort of official, Zagajak, but he answered, soll früher oparbeiten? Let him first finish work here. Hargenen ihm is allemal Zeit. There's always time in which we can kill him. So someone else like to take over?
Okay. Ja, Jakob ist gestanden im Feld von ganz früh bis Sonnenuntergang. Jakob stood in the field from very early until the setting of the sun. Und Wanda ist nicht abgetreten von ihm. And Wanda did not withdraw from him. She stayed with him. Sie hat ihm gelernt schneiden. She taught him how to harvest. Ihm gewissen, wie zu schleifen dem Scherp. And she showed him how to hone the sickle. Ihm untergetrogen die Macholim, was meg essen, Reut und Frucht, Azibala. And she brought him the kind of food that he was able to eat, bread, a fruit, an onion. Ist mehr nicht gestanden bei der Melk und nicht getort versuchen kein Milchigs. He no longer stood by when they were milking, and he was not allowed to taste any of the milk products. Aber die Higger haben sich grad gelegt und Wanda hat ihm Stillerheit zugetragen an was hat ausgesucht Reuerheit.
Whoa.
It wasn't Higer, it was
So-
Hinner. It was
Hinner, right? Yeah.
Hinner, yes. Sorry.
We're,
yes.
we're into the birds here.
Yeah, sorry, I read that incorrectly.
No, it's hard
The-
sometimes to
but
see it.
the Hinner, the hens, exactly, they laid eggs at the same time that Wanda quietly took them and brought them to brought him an egg which he drank down raw. Leut dem Din hat Jakob gemägt essen Säuermilch wie euch Putter. According to the law, the halacha, actually, Yaakov was permitted to eat sour milk and also butter, weil die Milch von Behemoth, Timaeus, wird nicht säuer, because the milk of unclean animals does not go sour. aber Jakob hat schon gesündigt damit, was hat gegessen pas akum. But Yaakov had already sinned by the fact that he had eaten bread that had been prepared by the Gentiles. This akum is of day kochavim umazalot, people, idolaters. Had nicht gewollt noch mehr verflecken die Neshama. He didn't want to stain his soul any further. Die Arbeit ist schwer. The work was difficult. Die Schnitter und Schnitterins haben nicht aufgehört lachen aus ihm. The men cutters and the women cutters did not stop laughing at him. Hat nicht gegessen kein Grits, nicht getrunken kein Milch. He didn't eat any groats and he didn't drink any milk. Sich nicht zugerührt zu kein Chazer, and he didn't touch any pork. Hat gearbeitet und gefasst. He worked and he fasted. Die Goyim haben getan zu ihm. The Gentiles complained to him or maintained to him. Wirst wegfallen, Fremder. You're going to fall ill, stranger. Wirst ausziehen die covetous. If you don't have anything to eat, you're going to die. Gott gibt koyach, hat Jakob sei geantwortet. God gives strength, Jakob answered them. Wo ist dein Gott? Und in die große Stadt, where is your God? In the big cities? In die Stadt, in die Dörfer umetum. He's in the cities, in the villages, all over. Du schneidest krumm. You are cutting crookedly. Du machst Keile destroy. You are destroying the straw. Die Meuden und die Weiber haben nicht aufgehört zu kichern und flüstern. The young women and the older women didn't stop giggling and whispering. Wanda, seh nur wie dein Chossen schwitzt. Wanda, just look at how your Chossen, your groom, is sweating. Is starker wie alle Mannsleid in Dorf. He is stronger than all the men in the village. Zu was darf man sein als stark? Why does one need to be so strong? What Yaakov gefragt. Yaakov asked. A Gibber is der, was beherrscht sein Verlang. A hero is one who controls his desires. Was redt Oi, a blazen. What's he saying? He's a clown. Und die Babes haben gelacht, gewunken, gemacht, ausgelassene Minas. And the peasant women laughed, they winked, and they made immodest immodest expressions on their faces. Ein Schicksal is zugelaufen zu Jacobin. One Gentile woman ran towards Yaakov, aufgehoben das Kleid bis die Lenden, and she lifted her dress to her hips. Die Poerim haben gehirschet vom Gelächter, and the peasants neighed like horses with laughter. Oi ahetza, oh ahoza, what insolence! Also wie Jakob hat geschnitten, hat gesagt Telem. While Jacob was harvesting, he was saying psalms, Gechazet Mishnayos, and he repeated Mishnayos Gemara. Jacob is gewend erbij, wie man hat zeackert das Feld, and he, Yaakov, was standing by when they plowed the field mit dem ox, with the ox. Und man hat verzeit die kernlich, and when they sowed the seeds, itzt hat geschnitten die Tvur, and now he was harvesting the wheat. Zwischen die Zangen is gewachsen Unkreid. Bei die Bregen von die Beiten. Among the stalks of wheat, there grew weeds grew at the side of the plots. Korn Blimelach und allerlei andere Spratzungen, cornflowers, and all sorts of other sprouts. Feldmais seinen entlaufen von unter die Scherp. The field mice ran away from under the scythes. Auf der abgeschnittene Erd hat gepäusert Feldgrillen. Creepy crawlies were crawling on the earth that had been sort of cut up. And crickets, grillen, crickets. Moshe Rabbeinu's kierlach and ladybugs, allerlei andere beschäftigten, and all sorts of other creatures. Kriechendike, fliehendike, crawling ones and flying ones, jedes mit sein Gebäu, each one in its form. Ergens a hand hat das als beschaffen. Somewhere a hand had created all of this. Ergens an Oig hat aufgewacht. Somewhere an eye watched over this. Von die Berg seinen ungeflogen heiger Hezeriken. From the mountains locusts flew in. Und Vögel, was haben gerät mit menschlicher Keules, and birds which as if spoke with human voices. Die Poerim haben geteut die Hezeriken mit lopetus. The peasants killed the locusts with spades. Aber was mehr me hat geteut, als mehr is entflogen. But the more they killed them, the more they flew, more of them flew in. Sie ist gewesen wie die Macke von Arbe. It was like the plague of locusts. Was Gott hat geschickt auf die Mitzrim. It was like the plague of locusts that God sent to the Egyptians. Jakob allein hat nicht gewollt hargenen kein Shum Baal Chai. Yaakov himself didn't want to kill any living creature. Ein Zach is shechtna behema mit a brocha. It's one thing to slaughter an animal with a blessing. Was dermit is men metaken das Nefesh was sitzt in der Behema. So the blessing sort of corrects the soul of the animal, the soul which sits in the animal. Und gar etwas anders is zertreten, zerquetschen, kleine bruimlich. But it's another thing entirely to trample and to squash small creatures. Was willen nebber das eigene, was der Mensch, who all they want is the same as the human being. Essen, leben, sich vermehren. They want to eat, to live, and to reproduce. Farnacht, wenn auf die abgeschnittene Felder seinen ungekrochen Jabelech hat Jakob gehit die Tritt, nicht aufzutreten auf die unbeschützte Körperlich. And at night, in the evening, when in the harvested fields, when in the harvested field they frogs crept in, Yaakov was very careful not to step and to stand on these unprotected little bodies of the frogs. Okay. Eleanor?
Elke?
I'll try. Tell mal, wenn die Schnitter haben gesungen ihre Lieder, gebleckert ihre Bleckerzer, hat Jakob gesungen Smirus. Oder Heit von Rosh Hashondiken und Yom Kippurdiken Mechozer oder Gor Akarumas was Malayant
Sorry, it's
Shavuos.
Akdamus and a Machzer.
So when the harvested harvesters had sung their songs, and what is geblechetzt?
They chanted.
Chanted their chants.
Yeah.
Yaakov sang Zmiros. This is a certain a prayer.
Zmiros are a series, usually Orthodox Jews, Friday night you sit at the table and you sing Zmiros. They're kind of religious songs.
Yaakov would sing religious songs, or the Rosh Hashanah, New Year's, and Yom Kippur, Mechazor. What are those, Michael?
Piety or religious poems from the books that you use on New Year and the Day of Atonement, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Machzor is the specific prayer book for those festivals.
Yes.
Any festival, not necessarily Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur. All the festivals have a machzor, a prayer book for that particular festival.
Or the prayers that one reads for Shavuos.
Right.
Wanda,
No.
please.
No, carry on.
Wanda, was hat gehat a klingendicke Stimme und gekonnt solche Lieder, hat aufgehabt seine Tenor, geprüft mit halten die jüdische Szenischen und Zyklinischen. So Wanda, who had a ringing voice, and she had I suppose learned some of those songs.
No, she had in her repertoire, she knew many songs. Unzollige, uncountable, a large number.
So she knew a lot of songs. Oh, something happened here. Okay. And she grasped his tenor. What is his tenor?
I don't know what tenor is. I assume I'd have to look that up. But maybe
the tunes.
The tunes, thanks.
His tones.
I think yeah.
And it looks like she sang along maybe some of these Yiddish melodies.
She tried to accompany him.
Yeah. Jacob's Gemüt is given full mit Gesang. Jacob's nature was full of song.
His mood.
Hat sich Chassider ausgeteilt mit dem Oiberichten. And now we have some Hebrew words. Et mechehi, wie lang noch wird gewältigen die Klippe, Zuma Dainesh, Danesh, I'm
Nachash.
sorry, the Chushan Mitzrayim. So, because he was always chanting mit Oiberichten. What is Oiberichten?
Oiberichten is with God. He was in order, in an order, he was arguing with God.
Oh,
Or
Lord, no.
presenting his problem to God.
Yes, and how long? What is the klippe?
The clippers or the demons.
How long are we going to endure these demons?
How long will the demons rule? Gewältigen is to rule someone.
Oh, how long will the demons rule? And what's this next word?
The plotting of the snake. You know, Adam and Eve's snake plotting. Full one, yeah.
So the Choshech Mitzrayim. Are these
the darkness of Egypt?
The darkness of Egypt. Thank you. Sis finster. Sis finster. It's dark. Oh, whoa, it's dark. Weis dein Licht, Tate in Himmel. Bring us your light, Father in heaven. Soll schon sein a Grenetz zu die Pein, der Götzendienerei, zu dem unschuldigen Blut, die Schlaffkeiten, dem Hunger, der Mitwilligkeit von die Starke zu dem Angst von die Geschlagene. Okay.
Why don't you do as many words as you can, and between Yaakov and myself, we can try and fill in.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'll need to do the exact words, but he's begging God to take away all these plagues.
Yeah. Yaakov, do you want to do it, or I'll do it? It's okay.
The Grenetz.
That's a boundary. We want to limit a boundary to something.
To the pain.
So may there be a balm to the pain.
A limit to the pain.
The Götzendienerei is the idolatry.
Idolatry. And the unschuldigen Blut, the blood that is shed?
No, the blood that
the innocent. The innocent blood.
The shedding of innocent blood.
Schuld is guilt, and Umschuld is innocence.
Okay. So when will there be an end to the shedding of innocent blood? The Schlafkeiten. What is that?
The weakness.
Illnesses, hunger, Mutwilligkeit. What is that?
The arbitrariness. Mutwillig.
The arbitrariness of the strong. The anxiety of the Geschlagene.
Oh, those who are hit, the beaten.
The victims. Avode. Darf man Bechira. What is that phrase?
You must have freedom of choice between good and evil. Bechira.
Avode hast du. Can we turn the page? you have to verborgen dein Honem. Is verborgen, you have turned your face away?
No, you have hidden your face.
You have hidden your face away. Aber schon genug, but it's enough already. The Wasser greift schon bis in Hals. I need help with that whole sentence.
Yeah.
Water is now reaching to my neck. I think that's from a psalm or some biblical. Yaakov, where is that from? Because there's something about water coming up to my neck. It's a quote.
Mm.
You know where it's
Masha,
from?
It could come from the Song of the Sea when what was his name? Who jumped in, and the water, when it reached his neck, then the sea split. It could be that's the reference there. I'm not 100% sure.
I think it comes from Psalms, actually. But you
It
know,
could be, yeah.
the whole thing reminds me that, you know, he wrote this after the Khurban, after the Holocaust, and this is, he's talking about his own feelings here. Surely it's, you know, the Jews have been through enough. I mean, he's putting it in the mouth of someone from 1700, but I think Davis is talking about how he is feeling. You know, it starts off, Afafuni Maim Art something. Do you remember that quote? I just don't have the...
Yeah, I don't, I must say I don't remember, I'm sorry. Okay. Hat sich so reingetan in dem Gesang, als hat sich nicht gehabt, wie die anderen seien geworden verschwiegen. So he was so involved in the song that he didn't notice that the others had gone silent. Und bloß sein Chor und seine Sogenischen trugen sich über ein Feld, and only his singing, and his voice, and what he was singing about, trugen sich, was carried over the field. Zwischen dem Gesemmel is geworden a Gelächter. Among the crowd, there was laughter, a patchenish, even clapping. Etliche haben ihm geprüft, noch später, and some of them even tried to mimic him. Yaakov is geblieben stehen, a verschämter, and Yaakov remained standing in embarrassment. Modle dich, Yid, modle dich. Modlen is to the way that Christians pray. So, and this is what they said to him: pray, Jew, pray. Gott kann schon euch nicht machen, der heintiger Schnitt soll gerotten. Even God can't make it that this present harvest should be successful. Efsher schilt uns, perhaps he's cursing us. Was für a Sprach is das, Yid? What sort of language is this that you're using, Jew? Die heilige Sprach, it's the holy language. Was is das, Saints? What is it? What is that? Die Sprach von der Bibel, it's the language of the Bible. Was is die Bibel? What is the Bible? Gottes Gesetz. It is God's laws. Was steht dort? What is written there? Man soll nicht ganvenen, hargenen, glusten zu jenems Weib. One shouldn't steal, one shouldn't kill, one shouldn't covet another man's wife.
Masha, can you move it up?
Das predigt doch Jobak in der Kaplica. This is what Jobak preaches in the chapel. Es ist alles genommen von der Bibel. Everything is taken from the Bible. Die Poerim seien geblieben und schwiegen. The peasants remained silent. A Poer hat Jakob zugezogen a killer rebel. One of the peasants brought Jakob a kohlrabi. Es Fremder, it stranger. Von Fasten wirst du nicht haben kein Koyach. You won't have any strength from if you fast.